So finally, here's the tutorial on how I did these knotless braids using human hair only. So I always start out by separating each bundle of human hair into the pieces that I'm going to be adding in. I use two different styling products because I feel like the style factor has a much stronger hold. I use that to define my parts, and I use the shine and jam to actually smooth my natural hair down once I start braiding. I always pre-part the rows in the front because I feel like it makes the process so much easier. So once you get your actual section parted out, you're going to start braiding down like normal. How far you braid down before you add the first piece of human hair is up to you. I usually like to put the first curly piece pretty close to the top of my head. Now, this is honestly hard for me to explain. Like, it just really took a lot of trial and error on my part. But you're going to take a piece of the curly hair and you're going to basically just add it into your braid. Once you add the curly hair, you want to braid down a little more just to make sure it's secure, and then you're going to pull out the piece of curly hair and continue to braid down. I'm going to slow it down a little bit for the second piece. So you're going to take the blunt end of the hair and you're going to lay it on top of the middle braiding piece of hair. I always have the human curly hair positioned so that the longer end of the curly hair is always laying over top of whatever piece of my natural hair is in my right hand. So once I have the curly hair positioned the way that I want it to, I start braiding down normally. So once again, I'll braid down a few times just to make sure the curly piece is secure, and then I will pull the curly piece out of the braid. So in the front, I usually add 3 curly pieces that are going to stay out of the braid. So I'm going to slow it down again for this third piece. I'm adding the blunt end of the curly hair to the middle section of the braid, and then the other end is laying on top of whatever piece of hair is in my right hand. Once positioned correctly, I just braid down like normal, and then I pull the curly piece of hair out of the braid at whatever point I want the curly piece out. So once I get towards the ends of my natural hair, I add in 3 more pieces of curly hair to each braid strand, so that way I can have the ends finished off with the curly pieces. So you add the curly pieces to your hair like I explained before, but this time you just continue to braid down. You don't pull any hair out. You just braid down until you're past your natural hair. Once you're past your natural hair, you're going to take a small piece of the hair and you're going to knot it off. This helps the braid to not unravel. I usually knot it off 2 or 3 times. I hope this video wasn't too confusing. It's kind of hard to talk through and explain how to do this without actually hands-on showing someone. So right here, I'm finished the top half of my head. I still have to do the back. I didn't record a lot of the process because I had to go to work the next day, so I had to hurry up and get this done. But here's the next day, the finished product. I absolutely love it. The braids do look a little boneless underneath the hair, but that's how I like it. And you really can't tell because there's so much hair mixed into it. It makes it so lightweight. I just love this hairstyle.